Oh yeah, gang. It's that Sunday vibe we've all been waiting for. Welcome. How we doing? Do you see me? Do you feel me? Do you know me? I goofed up the stream earlier, so let me know in the chat real quick if you can see me and everything seems like it's all hunky-dory. Oh yeah, looks like we got one of our newest members, Betsy, dropping in. Betsy, welcome. Great to see you. Happy Sunday, everybody. We're having a good time. We're gonna get into hybrid picking. Let's sneak up on it. I didn't even realize I had such a morning voice before. I've got every beverage under the sun right now. I've got some celery juice with some carrot added to that. More on that later. Hopefully it won't lead to me having to make an abrupt exit to leave you all to jam for a while. Anyway, let's get into this amazing topic and warm up with this easy, breezy progression. D major. Just a D major, just as easy as a Sunday morning. Down to a C, back and forth. D major, play it nice and open, just strum it right through. A couple easy strums. C major, we're gonna evolve this as we go here. Check this out, we're gonna play a D major. Now you're gonna play D major 7. Look at that shape. Do you know that one? C major, just the top 3 strings. That same pattern, so here we go. Then we lower that note down by 1 fret. So it sounds like that Sixpence None the Richer song. Classic 90s pop. Keep doing this. By the way, I think I'm gonna learn all 90s tunes and have like a 90s cover set. Yesterday we were hanging out with some fam, putting together the killer set list. Try spelling it out now. Just sort of breaking up. What if you don't use the pick? What if you go, maybe you're already doing fingerstyle, right? Something like that. Let's go up to this triad. If you've never done it, you just might like it. Okay? So if you're not familiar with the shape, just stay right down with those open shapes. Those will sound beautiful with this. If you're ready for this, then check that out. Same movement, meaning we're just taking the root and lowering it by a half step. D major, and that's the top part of that bar chord, right? And that's the top part of that bar chord. That's the top part of that bar chord, and then you could strum it. You could spell it out with a pick. Let's keep going up from here. It's another triad shape. Beautiful. Lovely, bright and clear. So check that out. We've got D major up on the 10th fret, and then we lower that note right there. Can we spell it out like we've been doing? Then lower it. Add a little slide to it. Same thing, just like that. Dreamy, right? Last little bit here. Let's do this bar chord down here. Then we slide up. Nice and low. D major bar chord. Slide up. We call that the Hendrix fill. That's good enough. Groovy beans. Friends, welcome. We're getting into hybrid picking today. That was just a nice, easy warm-up. You may have noticed already that I was presenting the pick approach, the fingerstyle approach. And this is not like Twilight. There's no werewolves versus vampires, but I do want to ask you a question. If you're watching now, here's the thing that I screwed up with the link. There's a new feature on YouTube that's supposed to make it easier. Notice the ironic quotes to stream horizontal and vertical at the same time. I was testing it out, and so if you saw the earlier link that I put out and blasted out to 5,000 people on the mailing list, very helpful, by the way, to then now have there's like a 2-minute video of me just being like, just sort of looking at the screen, trying to figure out what's going on. In other words, I did a test stream that went to the main link. So now we have a new link, and now we're all here. Glad to have you. And hopefully you're seeing me in whatever format you deserve and want. You could have me a diagonal, but that's up to you. Just tilt your head. So my question for you, and you're going to be able to answer this, and we'll see. Let's take a poll. Answer simply with the word pick, P-I-C-K, or fingers, plural, F-I-N-G-E-R-S. And when you do that, you're going to be creating a vote. So when you vote, pick or fingers, tell us which one you use. So I'll kick things off there. Pick versus fingers. Vote away now. I'm taking a poll right now. Vote for pick or fingers. What do you use the most? What is your default? You're picking up a guitar. Someone hands you a guitar. You're in the guitar store. You're at the old Guitar Center. And you're like, oh, wait a second, I don't have my pick. Or you're like, you know what, no pick, no problem. Never been an issue. Because what I live for is the digits on the details. A lot of people coming in heavy with the pick. The pick is crushing. The plectrum, yeah, to be more accurate, yes, we have our friends across the pond, Sawtooth. That is fair. The first time I heard in an audio clip of Paul McCartney being like, wait, I don't got me pleck. I didn't say it like that. It was more like, oh, hey, John, I don't have a pleck. I was like, what's he saying? Pleck? What is a pleck? In fact, the plectrum on the bass is a good way to go. So, gang, a lot of us are using pick. That's great. Just know that as we get into this, there is no all right or all wrong. This is just good news that if you're ready for hybrid picking, it is the best of both worlds. I've found that as I've listened to my guitar playing through the years, the ability to do a little bit of picking to get the clarity and some of the accuracy and the speed and that tone of the pick is something I've always wanted. And then at the same time, I love the Chet Atkins sort of style and the bossa style and the finger style and the Knopfler. And if you could have a bit of both, wouldn't it be great? That's what this is all about. And so if you've been doing it one way and now we're going to try to weave in a little bit more information, some of this might feel like taking a step backwards to take a bunch of leaps forward. And my members know because this week we've been doing this topic all week. So this right now is sort of like a grand review and a super lesson on the hybrid picking kind of 101. It's a great entry point if you've never done it. And it's a great way to brush off your skills and really hone in some of the weak spots if you've been doing a bit of it. So hybrid picking allows me, the simple answer is like to be able to do a bit of that grabbing chords like a piano player would be grabbing notes on the keyboard by just grabbing like pieces at a time, like 3 notes or 4 notes at a time, being able to spell it out when I want to have that. Oh, got the keyboard on, nice. So I can spell it out when I want to. And then from that, I can break away and do really nice, accurate fills with that beauty of having the pick in the hand when I want to go for it. Okay, so we're going to get into that. By the way, I do got to give a shout out to my friends over at Gator. They've been a recent and strong sponsor. Here's a little spot for them. They protect your guitars. You know TSA is crazy, especially now since apparently we're not paying the people there. You want to be nice to the people at TSA and Baggage Claim, and maybe they'll be nice to you, but if they're not, you'll be protected by Gator. This video is sponsored by Gator Cases. Guitarists, like any other musician, value the advantages of proper protection for their gear and arriving in their destination city with one guitar and not 2 pieces of one guitar. Guitars, amps, effects, and accessories all need safe transport and storage. Luckily, Gator's got you covered. Indeed, they do. Okay, let's get this hybrid picking stuff covered, okay? Very simply, I'll show you a little preview of what we're going to be getting into. Let's see, we'll build a loop. This is a good little backbeat here because this is kind of that train beat type of thing that you'll find yourself playing a lot of this sort of like. Okay, so I'll demonstrate a bit of this and then we'll slow it way down and break it into its pieces. But this is just a continuation of letting you know kind of what this is all about. With the hybrid picking, you've got this, you've got this hand cam here, you've got the one down here and the bottom right here, the screen. Watch this for a bit, the one down there in the corner. Okay, so try that with me. Just give it a go right now and see how you can do to just play this if you haven't ever done it. What I'm doing is that I'm picking the low A note and then I'm grabbing the A chord. Boom. So if I was doing this with just the pick, I could do it. It's it's a pick and a strum, right? It's sort of like a boom and then a sweep through the strings. Nothing wrong with that, it's great. Remember, none of this is about either or, it's about both. So when I do the hybrid, I have my fingers resting on the strings and I can just have them ready to deploy, right? It's nice, right? And that allows me to get into some interesting combination of textures. So something like that, I got some like nice palm muting. Like that's just the low part, right? That'd be like if the pick was just the only thing we were doing. Now compare that tone if I was doing again, this is not about better or worse, it's just there's a softer, warmer sound with the fingertips. There's a little more accurate, punchy sound. Or a lot more punchy. But with just the pick, I might feel like it would be quite a task to try to hit that bass line and try to keep hitting those chord pieces on the backbeat. So if I go, so hybrid picking gets you in the game of, and granted, it sometimes is going to lend itself towards that, like that country style or the blues. But there are so many ways that people that you admire have been using hybrid picking that you might not have realized in all sorts of genres. So let's do it nice and slow. And I want to start this off by giving you, if you've never really taken a look at your picking technique, this is something that we all need to brush up on. And it was a big thing for my members to sort of become aware of how they're holding the pick, because it's a habit that you might have picked up on like week one of playing guitar that you've just been going with over and over again through the years that might be holding you back. I'm not trying to sort of clickbait and fear monger you into thinking like you've been doing it all wrong, but maybe you've been doing it all wrong. Oh, kids. Okay, so check out the up close cam. And by the way, everyone uses different picks. I like using heavy picks that are this, what you call, I used to call this isosceles triangle. That's wrong. This is an equilateral triangle, basically. I think it's a 3-4-6 style. It's like the number of the whatever the pick model and all that. And I like the heavy weight of it. I like the celluloid. It's a little like the plastic sort of glides a little bit better than like the Tolex or whatever ones. This is my preference. But this came from the era of trying to keep up with Stevie Ray, which I still am trying to do every day of the week. And I noticed early on that he plays the pick with the soft side, the soft shoulder, as opposed to the pointy side. And I enjoyed that sound, and I still do. And that's sort of like where I got to, with my picking style, to really get into using that. I also would sometimes use a thumb pick, and I would shave down the edge of the thumb pick and try to use it as a combination of picking and having the finger style and everything. So the thing that I want to point out here with the pick is that a lot of times people will grab a pick, and when they get acquainted with it, they will make the assumption that it's not a foolish assumption, is that, oh, the pick should be pointing out from my fingertip, because when I point at the strings, that's how I want to pluck it. So let me know in the comments if you find yourself doing this technique where the point of the pick is going in the same direction. Let me put on the up close cam for the vertical. Sorry for the vertical peeps, that wasn't automatically. So when the point of the pick is going in the same direction as your fingertip, that might feel intuitive at first, but it's going to hold you back. And the reason why is that look at how much flexing is happening between the thumb and the fingertip, and I have to point my fingers down, sort of like a paintbrush or whatever. The thing that causes a lot of fatigue and reduced accuracy, because a lot of pressure and tension ends up hitting this part of your finger, and that'll wear out the muscles there. And again, all these things that I say, of course, there are guitar heroes that do it crazy ways, and they hold it, they can hold it behind their ear and play. It's like you will find exceptions to the rule. But I find that if you're like really trying to do it in a way that gives you a general path for success, you're going to want to do this. Check it out. If you're doing this, instead, you're going to want to have the pick like that. I think I put a little bit of sticky stuff on the side of the pick so that it'll stay. You want to have it going perpendicular. That's the right angle from your index finger, right? You see that? And then you just curl your fingers as if you're doing sort of one of those wimpy thumbs up that politicians like to do. And then it's just sticking out the side right there. So all of your fingers are relaxed and they're curled in a very loose sort of fist kind of grip right there. And then you just have this really good leverage. And at first, if you haven't done this will feel super awkward. It'll feel like, oh my gosh, I'm sort of like strumming like with my whole hand. And that's exactly the benefit, is that it allows you to incorporate subtle moves in your wrist and your elbow and the weight of your hand, so that it's not all coming down to your fingertips. This is really going to matter, especially as we get into the hybrid picking, because you're going to be asking your fingers to go off on other assignments and grab the other strings. And if you were to be like this with your finger pointing and then trying to ask your fingers to go out, it would cause almost immediate cramping. It's like really sort of stressful and a weird move for the tendons, versus if your fingers are curled together like that, and then you just allow these other fingers to be resting on the strings. Everybody meaning like the index finger, the thumb, and the second and third finger, they're all kind of headed the same direction. They're all just nice and relaxed. So please work on that. Review this part of the video and skim through it if you have to, if you're rewatching it. But make sure that you got that basic mechanic down, because check this out. If we hold like a regular C chord and we just want to try to grab a few strings there, right? In fact, what we'll do is we'll grab just the middle 3 strings of this C chord. And by middle, I'm saying like strings 2, 3, and 4. So you're going to be holding the entire chord, right? You're going to be holding a good old-fashioned cowboy chord, but you're only going to be grabbing those 3 strings. So strings 2, 3, and 4. Try that. And this is your first technique with hybrid picking, which I'm just calling the pinch. I don't know if there's like official terminology, but this is what it sounds like. You're just pinching the strings all at the same time, okay? And probably the biggest thing, and my members can chime in here because we've been working on this all week, wouldn't you say that the biggest thing is that you have to use way less force than you realize? Because now that you've got like your pick and your fingers, a lot of times things get kind of clumsy at first. And so we tend to pull too hard on the strings, right? So let me know as you're trying this, and we'll go into this and we'll do a bunch of reps. Are you finding that your fingers are getting kind of stuck under the strings? And when I say fingers, I mean like the ones that are out, the middle finger and the third finger, which I'll refer to the middle finger as the second finger and the ring finger as the third finger, just so it's not always index, middle finger. It's just like second and third. So are those fingers kind of getting caught under the strings? Because that can happen a lot. Or is the pick kind of punching through and sounding a little too abrupt? That's usually what's happening for people when they get settled into this. But let's try it. We're going to be aiming to have this just be like nice and relaxed. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Little foot thump. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it's all right. Justin's saying both. Yeah. At first, it can totally be awkward, and it might stay awkward for a while. It's all right. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. So if I want to dig in, I can make it sort of pop and twang. If I want to be light with it, 2, 3, 4, 1. I can do that. 4. Pinching all together, right? 2, 3. So what we're going to try to add to this that movement right there, these are 6. Has anyone ever played 6 before? It's sort of like the brown-eyed girl lick that we probably first hear. And even though through the years I've come to understand that that's, I think, actually thirds. But in any event, it's double stops. And to get that sound, you need to be accurate in hitting both strings at one time. So this is where hybrid picking is a technique that can get you there consistently. You, of course, could do bouncing between the strings and skipping over using the pick, or you could do just fingerstyle. And if you've done it with just fingerstyle, you're very aware of the fact that like the benefit is that it allows you to have your finger resting on the string that you're plucking. So it's like it's good to go. It's already primed and ready to hit that string. You're not guessing and fumbling for it. So we're going to try to build a little back and forth progression now between C major and A minor. Okay? It's a very simple, just back and forth vamp. We can do it. And I'll just guide you through it. So we'll do, let's see, we'll do like 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, down, boom, down, boom, down, boom, down, boom, 2, 3, 4. And then let's build out the hybrid part. Okay, so we're gonna strum, 2, 3, 4, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, A minor, and then we're gonna grab. Okay, so on the A minor, we're gonna grab that sort of pinching motion. So just to sort of like show what the timeline is, we're gonna strum, and then we're gonna do the fill. And then on the A minor, we're going to strum, and then we're going to do the pinch. That'll be our little sequence. I think I have, let me see, over here on the vertical. I'm always trying to make sure everybody's got everything they need. See if I can move this up above there. There, okay, so you kind of got that on both layouts there. If you're watching on vertical, let me know. Give me a shout. I can see the comments. I can see the comments for the horizontal and the vertical. And tell me real quick, what type of guitar are you playing right now? What type of guitar do you have in your hands? Is it acoustic? Is it electric? Where are you tuning in from? I love doing these. I normally do them on Saturday, but this is the Sunday edition of an open live workout. My members know the deal is that we do these workouts, shorter versions of this during the weeknights of every week. And we've gotten up to over 500 workouts now. We're literally up to, this is like workout number 520 now. And people can search through all of the previous workouts. I call it guitar workout of the day for the obvious reason that it's like a fitness program. And if you have someone like me helping guide you through these exercises, you learn a lot faster because it's more fun and you're doing it with other people, just like if you dropped into a CrossFit class and you didn't have to think about, oh gosh, do I gotta do bench press? Do I gotta do 20 push-ups, or should I just have a drink of water and maybe go have a sandwich? So come join us. You get 2 weeks free. If you're not a member, I highly recommend. Take me up on this offer. It's amazing. You get 2 weeks to try everything. Betsy's playing acoustic. Justin's playing a telly. Nice. Michael playing a Strat. I love tellies and Strats. I was pretty late to the telly party. I've got an amazing telly style LSL that I use quite a bit. Squire bass 6. Wow, playing the lowdown sounds there. Love it, love it. Telly, Les Paul. Well, we're glad you're playing whatever you're playing, and I hope you're having fun with it. And let's get into this back and forth jam here. I think we can now see. So, and I'm just putting this together on the fly. We'll try some different combinations, but you can see here we'll do strum, because I want us to be able to mix and match between strumming and hybrid. So it'll be like strum, 2, 3, 4, fill. Get ready for the switch to A minor, strum, 2, 3, and then just a simple pinch, 2, 3, 4, strum, 2, 3, 4, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, 2, 3, 4, pinch, and try to make it nice and consistent with the volume and the tempo, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And if you're feeling comfortable and you can do more, then do more. You could do a connecting fill, boom, boom, right? If you're ready for that kind of stuff. That pinch a couple times. If you're doing the simple version 1, that's great. Keep doing that. Now check this out. So that move that I just did, we'll talk about in a little bit, and it's like the next evolution of the pinch. It's a roll. Just like that. It's what it sounds like. One more time through, then we'll check in. Right, so that thing that I was doing there halfway through, the roll, is just if you were to do the pinch in a sequence. So if you just roll your fingers off the strings like that, it's going to allow those notes to come out one at a time. So let's try that for like, you know, this middle part of the C. And you notice that I'm actually rolling my hand away from the guitar. That makes it really nice and easy to allow the fingers to just sort of just fall off the string. You don't need to be pulling and plucking them as much as just letting them naturally pull away. And when they pull away, I'm not necessarily like pulling them straight up off the string. It's more that they're just lightly going back towards the palm. That's again the reason why if you have this relaxed grip, all your fingers are headed back this way. Rather than them having to go up or out, they're just nice and relaxed, coming back towards the palm of your hand. So try that. A minor. Just back and forth, doing the roll, doing the bowl dance, feeling the flow. Did anybody watch Happy Gilmore 2? I held off on it for a while and then I watched it. It's got some good moments. The first third of it's pretty great. And then it gets a little bit bloated with too many cameos, if you ask me. Just tap it in. That's all you got to do with these. Just tap the strings. Okay, gang, checking in with you now. Here's a poll. Just simply answer 1 through 4, and it'll register your response. How's it going? Is it making sense? Do you have any questions? I'm looking at the comments now. I want to see how you doing. How you doing? I'll put on a little backing track. Oh, this one's a good vibe. It's in like slow jam mode. I like this one. We're feeling okay. Greg and Shizzle have been rocking out all week, so by now they're old pros. Mojo Jeff knows the deal. Randall knows the deal. If it's any indication that my guitar friends are really my guitar friends, is that they put up with me not doing a stream yesterday. They showed up today on the correct link that turned out to be the goofed up link. That was my fault. And yet they persevere. And now they want to hang out and continue with the hybrid picking that they've been doing all week. Right, Adam? And Betsy's new. Betsy's jumping in. It's great to see you, Betsy. Okay, so we're feeling pretty good. All right. Maybe we can pick up a little bit of the pace of the ideas here. Because this is very fun. We're entering into the territory now where we combine the pinch, the roll, and then the alternating. Alternating is what we're doing when we're doing that fill, like we did on the C chord. Let's look at this progression right here. This is like sort of almost like a 90s kind of trip hop sort of thing. So it's going between, we can do this. Yeah, okay. You might like that. So it basically vamps back and forth between an A7 and an E7. School of Holistic Massage and Reflexology. How you doing, Mike? Great to meet you. Love body work. Big fan of body work. Gotta have it. Can't overlook it. I've always wondered, maybe you can help me sort this out. I'm sorry, but this is the type of thing that pops into my head. So you got the whole map of the foot, the whole map of the body on the bottom of the foot, right? You've got all the organs. It would follow suit then that there's a foot on the foot somewhere, right? Answer me that, Mike, if you would. I mean, you got the whole map, right? You got the spleen, you got the whatever, the esophagus, the lungs. Is there a foot on the foot? Can you confirm? Okay, good. And I don't want to paint you in a corner, Mike, but would that not then follow suit that there's a foot on the foot of the foot? I don't know. Does it keep going? I'm sorry. That's just how my brain works. Okay. So let's check it out. We got A7 to E minor 7. Okay. So here's how we might evolve this. Regular chords. Regular open chords, right? Let's say we're like sort of day 19 of day 19 playing guitar, and we can do this. Then it does C. It kind of walks down from C, does that times 3, and then it does C, does a little walk down to like a G over B. That's not so much a chord, it's more of a passing thing, right? Boom. So basically what I'm playing is something like that. Here's the third time of that A7 to that E minor 7. Now we got C. Okay, so now if the movement of those chords is too fast and it's freaking you out, don't worry about it. Just do the tiny bit of like that A to that E minor. You can just do regular cowboy chords. If you're ready for the A7, there it is. There's that E minor 7. They're just little variations of those chords you know and love. And then this movement here is just like bam, bam, bam. It's just kind of a bass line riff. But if you wanted to spell out the chord, you would just go, you just move that bass line down to a B, and then you would slide up. It has that nice cosmic sort of suspended sound there. So that's just that C shape up to D. So it's a fun little riff. And if we wanted to get into the hybrid picking thing, right now I'm just using the pick, we could absolutely be doing like things like this. And that kind of dreamy stuff really is an example where the hybrid picking shines. So like, try that. And just take my word for it, you know, like trust me that these shapes, we don't need to overanalyze the theory of it. This is a little, imagine this is more like your buddy or like, you know, your older brother's cool friend comes over and is like, hey, check this out. And you're like, what's that? It's like, I don't know, bro, but it sounds cool. Meaning this is like, that's an A7. And then this is like, it creates a bit of this really dreamy E minor, like 9, but it just mainly has this nice little. Can we try to build that part? And then let's say for now, when we go to this C, B, D, we'll just go to those chords, like jump back in and just hit those as they are. 3, 4. It's a little bit like a Fire and Rain, right? Now let's look at this more closely. So hopefully what you're seeing, like, and I check in a lot because I want to make sure that nobody feels that I'm never trying to leave someone in the dust, but I also don't want to move so slowly that the people that are comfortable are feeling like, when's he going to get to it? So speak up if you're feeling overwhelmed. I can try to clarify things, but I think what we've done nicely here is that we started with just like, hey, we just got some chords. We're strumming them. Let's say it's like, you know, day 19 of playing guitar. We learned how to play an A7. We learned how to play an E minor 7, and then we can follow along with this. And it's pretty good. And then we learned to sort of kind of spell it out with the pick, give it a little bit more of a boom, cha, cha, boom, right? That's evolution maybe number 2. Now we're getting into this smaller, but kind of more interesting piece, right? That requires the rest of the music to fill in some of that stuff is like starting to get really exciting, right? So hence why the hybrid picking is now where we're at. So let's look at the pattern that I'm playing, and I'll turn on the up close cam for the vertical. So I'm just kind of doing like a, try that. So it's pick, and then the fingers. So that third finger, that ring finger is hanging out on the second string, and it's ready and it's waiting. Boom, down, down, boom, down, down. Just try that. Boom, bam, bam. That middle finger, that second finger is on the third string. Boom, bam, bam, boom, bam, bam, boom, bam, bam. Shred Lord. Boom, boom, bam, bam. Now we move to this. Boom, bam. So notice that we're just looking at the picking hand, in my case, the right hand. And it's just doing the same thing over and over again. Which might seem obvious, but sometimes when we're switching chords, we sort of have a little spike, a hiccup of anxiety or adrenaline. Just a tiny little bit of like, oh no, I hope I get my fingers there in time. And sometimes that affects like the picking hand, when actually our main goal is to try to get the picking hand like just to stay calm and just do what it's doing. Because for the most part, we're just gonna Just keep it rocking steady. Because let's imagine we had no chords in the left hand. We're just doing... Like, that's what our picking hand is doing the whole time. That's all it sees. That's all it knows, right? And that's fun, right? And now we just put information into that on top of that pattern. It could be anything. It could be like... That really sounds like Fire and Rain. So these are all just variations of things I could be playing over the same progression. I'll show you. Ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da, ba-ba-da. Give us that beat, DJ. 3, 4. Try to join me here on just these first two shapes here. And if you don't have the exact picking pattern, that's fine. It can be a variation of it. And then like you could be going low to high. All right, so how's that going, gang? How we feeling? How we doing? Are we getting through it? Are we taking our time? Are we going easy on ourselves? Are we being kind to the one and only you that is I, that is all of us combined? Where's the foot on the foot on the foot? Upper chords beat me up, Randall says. That's all right. We are really not sure the shapes. Oh, okay. So the upper chords, like the ones that I went up here. Yeah, the information, remember, all these things are, all these dots, all they ever are is just information. They're just they're a stranger, is just a friend you haven't met yet. Like, you're going to have to spend some time with the information, but don't think that that is what I'm teaching today, right? So don't get caught up in thinking that, oh, he just showed us something that we're either supposed to know or he wants us to learn really quick. No, there are times where I'm just purely going to have to be like, oh yeah, and by the way, I'm going to play something now that represents something that I might do, not to be flashy, but just to be like, oh, and then imagine if we took it a little further. You would have this, the picking pattern is the thing that we're focusing on today. So just know that if you want to know more about triads, boy, oh boy, I have a lot of great videos on triads, and you know that, Randall. And of course, we've got Triads 101. There's a lot of free stuff on YouTube, incredible live streams and deep dives. I get all into the triads because, yes, it is one of the ways in which hybrid picking will meet up with the triads, and it's so good. It's so tasteful. You just have this freedom now to what I sometimes call the melon ball scooper or the ice cream scooper, where you can grab these chunks of strings that are normally pretty tough to get to hit with accuracy with your pick, to just always be able to hit exactly the 3 strings you want, and no more, no less, right? We all know that sort of like struggle is a real challenge. Versus if we're just getting in there and grabbing these, and we'll do a bit of that now. We'll find another one of these progressions. In fact, I think this one, this is a nice, good, steady, easy one, and we'll do exactly what we're talking about. I might even, and I'm not playing dumb, I just am dumb. Let me see, I might have some of these. I do. Well, this is gonna help us out. This is great. Like a cooking show where it's like, well, we may just have already prepared the quiche backstage and we'll show you the finished product. So let's do it, and let's just have we're just going to use the rest of the time here to do examples of hybrid picking. That's a lot of what my teaching is all about. By the way, once again, don't forget, always remember that you've got 2 weeks to try everything. You could cancel on day 13 and a half, and I wouldn't be thrilled, but I wouldn't fault you for it because I want you to get value, and I only want you to stay if you're digging it. So if you're watching this live or in the future, come check it out. The community is awesome, and what you might not realize that you're missing is like actual other people. We sort of overlook that fact and we think, no, I'm just gonna get 900 videos and watch it on that fateful day, that Saturday, or that like long weekend that I'm totally gonna have the 900-hour weekend that's gonna watch all 900 videos. It's like, you're not. None of us are. It's not your fault. You're not gonna be able to do that, but you are gonna be able to show up for 15 or 20 minutes a day. That's what we do. So let's do that now. Let's rinse, repeat. So this progression is great. We got, what is it? C to G, A minor, E minor. So we got a couple majors, we got a couple minors, and we're gonna do these triad shapes. They're there the whole time. Use them. Don't go AWOL and start doing your own shapes. Just go with me on this. So we got this. We'll do a pinch. Got a pinch. Right? If you're comfortable with that, that's great. Keep doing that. If you're ready to do the roll, do the roll. Do that roll. Put my hand up on your hip. When I dip, you dip, we dip. Right? If you're ready for a more kind of alternating, almost like a little tiny finger picking pattern, do that. Keep it in time though. If you start getting out of time, dial it back and do something simpler. A couple more times on this. We're going to start to add the opportunity to play fills. If you can do it casually, comfortably, and in time. Now let's move to a different sequence of triads. Oh, this one's great. So this one will actually start, and it finishes here. So we're on the same set of strings 2, 3, 4. Now watch this. There's a C, goes up to a G. Look at you. You're flying all the way up on the 12th fret. Isn't that fun? You're going down there, and then that little shape gets overlooked. It's great. Love it. And I think we determined earlier in the week when we were jamming over this that this could be C major or G major. Don't worry about it, but those notes, both of those sets of notes would work. And what I'll do here is that I'll start to introduce the idea that if you're comfortable, if you're nailing these triads, and only if, you can start to play with a little bit of fire. And let's go with C major, and I'm just putting in C major pentatonic as sort of a silhouette here. That should not prevent you from boldly using all of the C major scale, but make it tasty. So if I go, right? You might not want to do a fill every single chord. You might decide to have a pattern. Like just play a chord, then a fill. Right? But you got to get back to your next chord. Keep it about the timing and about the simple changes. That gets to be quite interesting. Right? This becomes now a playground that you can jump off of and come back to. Once you get these hybrid picking moves nice and consistent sounding, right? So that easy and even. Yes, if pick is louder than fingers on the roll, is it pretty much always a solution? I'll get to that in a second. That's a good question. Yeah, let's take a little breather and check in with the squad. Got to end on a dreamy chord. So our main man, Eric the Red, who you may know from a famous episode of Run the Gauntlet, where I did a couple episodes where we trained hard to do a special song. He knows what he's dealing with here. What you got, Eric?
If pick is louder than fingers on the roll, is it pretty much always the solution to use less pick than pluck harder with fingers?
Very astute. Yes, you've asked and answered your question. It's pretty much always going to be that the pick is firing off louder than you want. You do want to have the range of dynamics, but this is what I've been, sort of, who gets the reference of wax on, wax off? Let me know in the comments if you understand that reference of wax on, wax off. Because this is your wax on, wax off. Let's say we took this, like if we took like a C triad right there. The information doesn't matter as much because we're just thinking about the right hand, right? Karate Kid, that's right. Pat Morita, Miyagi. Okay, so we've got those three notes there, but mainly we're just trying to have them sound even. If the pick is too loud, it'll probably punch off, and it'll. What I want you to know is that in addition to it being too loud, it'll be inconsistent, right? It'll fire off when it wants to. It is like a rubber band or a bow and arrow that's getting pulled back with too much tension. So if it is firing off loudly, it's probably also firing off at inopportune times, which means what you really want is to have that pick resting on the string and be nice and relaxed, so that this is why the way we hold the pick matters so much. Because if we're holding it like this, we're hoping that we can, like if we hold it the wrong way, we're hoping that we can just luck out and tell our fingers to push the pick through the string. Trust me, it sort of feels like, okay, I'm ready to go through the string, go! And we're telling, and it sounds more like that. And I'm only slightly exaggerating, because once you have this, you can kind of just let a very subtle movement allow the pick to just roll through the string. And you'll also notice that the pick is at a 45-degree or somewhere close to it angle to the string, which makes it much more easy. And Eric the Red, please check in and make sure that you haven't snuck back into the begin-intermediate habit of letting the pick go like this, because it feels like, yeah, I'm picking the string, so I want to get in there and I want to be parallel to the string and I want to pop it. And that sounds like you're going over a rumble strip, as opposed to when the pick is at an angle, it glides, it rolls over, and you can literally see the angle of the pick, like the tip of that pick is just rolling over. And if you're allowing it to roll over, it's much more up to you. It's much more subtle. And you also notice that I'm not holding it too tight. I have it nice and relaxed so that it can be leaning on the string and then just go through very lightly. And then it rests on the next string. I know it's a lot of details. It's a bit like describing a golf swing. Once you go comfortably with that, it'll start to just become one thing. But the goal is that then if you want to hit it hard, you can totally do that. But it's not going to be doing that whenever it decides to. You decide. And then to bring it back to where you want to be is that you want to have it even. So right now they more or less all sound like they're at the same volume. If I decided to pop those fingers a little bit more, I can get under and decide to dig under, but that's my choice. I don't want to have that as a default where they're sort of stuck on those wires and they're just going to sound too punchy all the time. If I want to add the twang, I can give it that, but I definitely want this just to be my wax on. So this is what you would want to do. You'd probably want to just grab your guitar and just listen and just play a short little triad like that. And just try to get it even. If it starts off at the beginning, you might be like, right? It's going to be like that. That's where it's at right now. Then trust me, if you do this for like just 2 minutes of just this, don't even put on a backing track. And you know how I am. Like I'm always saying, for the right reasons, put on a drum loop, put on a backing track, make sure you have some musical context. In this, you just want the mechanics to be the thing, right? Just that. And if you just keep listening and dialing it in so it's nice and relaxed, and then when you want it to be louder, you can do that. But you notice I'm having them all do that at the same time. In fact, I don't even know if I would have the coordination right now to have like the pick be louder than the fingers. I mean, it might do it on its own, but I think I mostly want them to sort of fire off in the same velocity, as it were. Like if this were piano, you'd be like trying to practice, and this is something piano players do way better than us. They have exercises where they're just trying to hit 3 notes really clean, especially on like a piano sound, like an actual piano. You're just trying to have your timing and your volume be even so that you can decide to dial it up or down. That is your thing to really take to heart. Okay, break's over. Let's get into some other triad shapes. I'll keep an eye on the comments. Hit me with more questions so we don't leave you empty-handed. Speaking of, wait a second, I might do a spin for my members that entered the Dare to Share. In fact, I will do that before we close up shop here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're missing out. The community, we have a monthly challenge where I ask people to share clips of their playing. And when you do that, it enters you to win, potentially, a free prize. And I think what we're going to do is a free lesson. Often I do a free piece of merch like these swanky hats, but we're going to do a free lesson, and these are for people that entered the September Dare to Share. We're going to do that. Okay, let's rock. Here we go. This one, yeah. Okay, so we have. Oh, we're going faster now too, which I like it. The tempo is back up to where it was originally. Check it out. C. We're on the first 3 strings now. G, A minor, E minor. So we're just going low to high. Here we go. A trip to Cancun. This dinette set. Manila folders. You know, when they reveal that and you're like, yikes, somebody won the wrong prize. Band-Aids. Lightly used. C, G, A minor. And remember, if you're feeling frisky, you can play some fills. I'll stay out of the way. You guys keep doing your thing. Daily Maynard coming in. His ears were burning. He must have heard there's a prize at stake. Let me line up the wheel of names. I use the wheel, the really wheel of names. Keep playing. Keep playing. Yeah, folks, get ready. We're gonna be spinning. These are the people. These are the people. Big spin coming up. Some darers and sharers. All right, let me give you some more triads. These shapes, look at these. We got the scale out of the way. Okay, so this one starts further up the neck, just like we did before. Strings 1, 2, 3, here we go, C. Michael B in the house. You can roll it like that. A couple more times there. Big reverb. That kind of stuff. Okay, kiddos, we're gonna do the big spin to win it. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. For my members, this is the Dare to Share spin. There will be one winner and one winner only for a grand prize of a 30-minute one-to-one lesson with yours truly. Here we go now. Spin it up, spin it up. Who's it gonna be? Don't be afraid. You dared, you shared, you didn't over-compare, and you're ready to see if you're the lucky winner. Oh, Chad Perry, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, we love a good Chad Perry. Way to go, Chad Perry. He's a good dude. He's a deserving winner. No, kids, be happy for him. There we go. Get those trumpets ablazing. Congratulations to Chad. Way to go to everyone who entered. If you don't know what we're talking about, come join the membership. In fact, right after this, I'm going to wrap up now, and I'm going to head over to our Zoom room. We have a Zoom space that is always open for members to get together and hang. So when I'm not there, when Dad's away, you can do your thing and jam and talk to each other, actually get to know each other. You'd be probably not that surprised that as we go forward into the great AI afterscape, or as the big bubble goes boop and we all get tired of seeing, I'm not tired yet of seeing kick-ass clips of Stephen Hawking going down the half pipe at the X Games. I'm not tired of it yet, but when we get tired of that, we're going to be a little bit like wanting for a little heart-to-heart connection. And we can do that through a screen. We just got to show up and get to know people. You know how it is when you don't know someone, you don't really know if you're going to like them, but then when you like them and you know them, then you like them and you want to show up and you want to be on the Zoom room. So I'm going to head over to the Zoom room. If you want to join now, you could literally start your membership and come join us right now if you're watching this live. That's where I'll be for a bit, and then we'll hang and we'll talk more about hybrid picking or whatever comes up. Chad Perry, the great winner, congratulations. We'll be reaching out to him. And any other questions about hybrid picking or about life itself, I can answer equal parts in equal levels of amateur proficiency. We've got ourselves a little vamp here in E. Just let yourself play whatever you want here in E. By the way, the topic of this week, gang, is how to practice. It's a bit of a meta concept. We're going to have some little bit of information that we learn this upcoming week, but mainly I'm going to get you dialed in and making sure that you're practicing the right way. I don't know if you are, but I'm going to give you a bulletproof recipe to make sure that you fill up your plate with the right stuff so that it sticks in your brain, so that while you're sleeping, sweet slumber is working on your behalf, and you're going to be getting better and waking up with more chops than you left with the night before, right? Michael B gets it. He knows. Yeah, let's just canoodle in E. The Canadians have Thanksgiving. Save some gravy for us. We'll chase you down next month. That's my favorite holiday, I think. Don't tell Halloween. I love me some cornbread. All right, it's been very fun. Again, don't forget, scoop it up, check it out. 2 weeks totally free. It's all you. This is the universe telling you it's time. It's time to go hybrid. Everything. If you didn't catch that, everything is free for 2 weeks. And it's amazing. But you already know that because you're already a member. You're already watching this and you came back to watch it again to thank your former self, to say, hey, you did it. You made the step. You made the leap. Good times, gang. Good times.